Good Thursday evening, everyone. It's March 9th, and we're supposed to be going into spring. But as I've been talking about the last month or so with the supporters, winter was going to try to fight back in March, and it's going to do that as we get especially into next week and beyond. Frost and freeze potential is looking highly likely across even as far south as the Gulf Coast states, all the way to the southeast. The southeast has not seen cold hardly at all this season, and the southeastern ridge is losing its grip and getting a major beatdown, and it's basically getting replaced by the southwest. There's going to be a high pressure building in the southwest, and that southeastern ridge has been gone. I've been talking about that for the past month as well. And then that's going to open the floodgates for cold and possible frost and freezes as we go forward, especially as we get into next week and beyond. Okay? All right, if you're joining me on YouTube, hit that like button, hit that thumbs up, comment where you're from, and also hit that subscribe button. It's free. Hit the all on notifications, and you'll be notified every time we post content on YouTube. All right. Also, if you want to support the work we do for you on Facebook, it's $4.99 a month. Go to the homepage, Snowbird Bob on Facebook. Click that, become a supporter today. Click that, and then you'll be in the discussion page on Facebook. We talk about all kinds of stuff on there, plus the subscriber or the supporter hub as well. Basically, the supporter hub, we go over a lot more in detail, long range weather, snow possibilities, a lot of content we normally would not put on our public page. So you get first dibs on seasonal content. We have giveaways. We gave away almost $500 in gift cards over basically the holidays, and it keeps you ahead of any impending weather, and you stay prepared and support the work we do for you. So like I said, it's $4.99 a month, and I know I've been joking about this a little bit, but $4.99 a month. It's cheaper than your daily Starbucks that some of you probably get. All right, so that's the route you could do on Facebook. Now, if you love YouTube, if you like what we're doing on YouTube as well, you can support us on YouTube, and you'll get that same kind of content in the members only. There's a members only tab in YouTube, and that's where we're going to post all our long range videos and content over on YouTube. Go to the join button on YouTube, hit that button, and there's different levels of subscriptions way you can support us on YouTube as well. Okay, all right, let's get down to it because we have a lot to talk about. All right, here is the hazard maps. We always show this basically first. Storm system coming through, a lot of rain down here through basically the mid-south here. And then we had some snow coming across Iowa into northern Illinois, around Chicago. It's snowing right now, going through southern Michigan, and then heading over towards northern parts of Ohio, then over towards Pennsylvania, and parts of New York as well. And another system battering the west. I'll tell you what, California, you cannot, they are like getting so much snow out there. It's incredible seeing some of the pictures. The next 7 days, we're looking at 10 to 15 feet of snow. That's right, 10 to 15 feet of snow over the next 7 days, above about 8,000 feet. And then all that snow that's fallen, feet and feet of it below that. Remember, the snow levels were really low for about a week and a half down out there, and now we got all this rain coming in, melting that snow rapidly. There's going to be a big time flooding threat. All those reservoirs are going to get filled up pretty quickly. But as we get into summer, all that major snowpack that's up in the mountains, that's just that's just flooding waiting to happen as well. So, all right. So there's that. Then we got the storm, like I said, storm system coming to the west into California, and then gonna be going into parts of Utah, Colorado. Winter storm warnings out there. Winter storm warnings and advisories out west as well, and winter storm watches up here in the North Dakota and parts of northwestern Minnesota as well. Here is basically precipitation for the next 7 days. As you see, California's going to get absolutely hammered. All this up here in the mountains of California is going to be in the form of snow, and it's going to be 15 to 20 inches, 15 to 20 inches of liquid equivalent, which equals to about 150 to 200 inches of snow if you just use a 10-to-1 ratio up into the mountains there, which is just unbelievable. Some of the amounts of snow and up there in California. Now, get towards the southeast, basically just gloomy conditions basically ongoing, and then more rain this weekend. We have severe weather to talk about next, coming back into parts of the region, but a general 1 to 2, possibly maybe locally 3 inches over the next 7 days across the southeast. And a lot of this up here in the north and northeast could be in the form of snow, with possible nor'easter coming late this weekend across the northeastern parts of the United States. All right, severe weather is back in the forecast for this evening ahead of this next cold front and disturbance coming across as well ahead of it. So, slight risk of severe thunderstorms from eastern Oklahoma into Arkansas on Saturday. Some of the risk area here, slight risk for Little Rock, Fort Smith, North Little Rock, Pine Bluff, Conway, over towards Mena, McAllister, Oklahoma, over towards Atoka. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Arkadelphia. Those are some of the major cities in that slight risk. On the other side of that, basically Memphis, Tennessee, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Norman, Oklahoma, Wichita Falls, Texas, up towards Paris, Texas, Texarkana, El Dorado, Greenville, Mississippi, and then basically the western side of Mississippi as well, northwest side, all under the gun for possible severe weather on Saturday, with about 7 million people under the gun for severe weather. Biggest threats are going to be probably hail. Hail is going to be the biggest threat on Saturday, with possible golf ball to baseball size hail, I would assume at this point. Like Storm Prediction Center saying, scattered severe storms producing very large damaging hail is the most probable late afternoon and evening. So this will be a late afternoon and evening on Saturday, like I said, from eastern Oklahoma into Arkansas. Okay. Let's go into Sunday, where about 2.2 million people are going to be under the gun here. We'll get the day 3 outlook coming up in the morning, which will have further updates as well. But some of the cities here: Jackson, Mississippi; Gulfport, Mississippi; Monroe, Louisiana; Hattiesburg, Mississippi; and Greenville, Mississippi, all the way down to really close to Biloxi as well, all under the gun for severe weather. Basically, large hail and basically gusty straight line winds are going to be the main threats on Sunday as well. So large hail, golf ball size to possibly baseball size, is possible both days, on Saturday into Sunday, with some damaging straight line winds as well. There is, I'm sure there's going to be it's very slim chance of a tornado. It's not zero, but it's going to be a very slim chance. But like I said, the biggest threat here is going to be very large hail and damaging straight line winds. All right, here is this storm system that's going to give us some severe weather on Saturday, late Saturday afternoon into the evening. Basically, this low pressure right here is the disturbance that's coming down. Very heavy snows across northern parts of Missouri into Iowa. and this is going to be bleeding across as we go throughout the night on Sunday, and then early into Sunday morning, there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be severe weather down towards Louisiana and Mississippi as well on Sunday. Then as we go into Monday and Tuesday, kind of lightens up. And then as we get to Wednesday, there's hardly anything going on across Central. Now, let's take a look at some temperatures. Let's take a look at temperature anomalies. The cooler colors is below average, and the warmer colors is above average. You can see where some of these new numbers are. 15 above average here. Then you go up here towards Missouri, it's 10 below average. This was today. As we go to tomorrow, we're going to warm up just a little bit, but still going to be below average across most of the area on Friday. 5 to 10 to 15 degrees below average across as we especially get into Kentucky and Tennessee. Basically 2 to 6 below average across the rest of the area here. Then we're going to warm up a little bit ahead of this system on Saturday before this cold shot comes down for early next week. And this is basically Monday, at least 10 to 15 below average across most of the area, except back here towards far western Texas, because that high pressure is starting to build in northern Mexico and the southwest. And then, like I said, it's going to open the floodgates for more cold air to come into the area. And like I said, look at this. I mean, this is for Monday. It's basically Monday highs 10 to 15 below average, possibly getting close to 20 below average in some of these purple areas out here towards Tennessee and Kentucky. Now you're probably wondering, well, what's my average? Well, there's a map I'll show you here in just a second, but overall, 50s, upper 40s to 50s across the northern part of the area here. And then as you get towards southern Missouri into parts of northern Arkansas, it's right around 60 to 65 degrees for average. And then you get towards the Red River, parts of, and then basically Red River and south, if you draw a line straight across and south, mostly into the 70s for highs. For the month of March, and then you get far southern tip of Texas and far southern tip of Florida is in the 80s for averages. So you take that, put that in your mind, and then look at some of these numbers that are coming down. 10 to 15, 20 below average across the area for Monday. So what is that going to translate to? So here's 7 o'clock on Monday, which, like I said, we have time change coming up this weekend as well. So a lot of the sun will still be out and the sun will be setting after 7 in a lot of areas here. So 40s, 50s, low 60s all the way to the Gulf Coast is way below average for this time of year. And then as we go into Monday night into Tuesday morning, look at this. Below freezing. Frost is likely all the way down into into Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, all of Tennessee, Kentucky, all of Missouri, parts of northeastern parts of Oklahoma, Kansas here. So all this vegetation that's already came out, trees have already leafed out in a lot of places, especially south of basically I-40. The leaves are starting to leaf out north of there too in a few trees. Bushes are coming out, flowers are coming out. I've been trying to preach to specialists and supporters, and I've given you guys hints for the past month that winter was not over, and all this vegetation that's coming out is going to get, it's just setting the stage for a damaging frost and freeze, and we are going straight into that as we head towards next week. I have a lot more details on the Supporter Hub on Facebook. Also, we are going over. There's a few little bits and pieces of possible winter weather chances across parts of the area as well. But we'll have to pick up on that as we get closer, because models have been absolutely garbage, even up to the day before lately on some of these storms. As the models are starting to sniff out what pattern we are in, the MJO's screaming through just getting it to 8 phase 8 right now, which is a colder phase across the east. And it's going to be screaming across 8, going into 1, which is even a colder phase. And a lot of this cold air is going to start bleeding into the central part of the area as well. And then it's going to flip into phase 2 as we get towards late month. So for basically here on going forward, there's going to be a lot of cold air getting entrained into the pattern across the country, across the central and eastern parts of the country. I know the northeastern parts of the United States have hardly had any zero winter. There's been more snow across parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma than there has been in New York City, for example, and they're going to start getting hit this basically mid to late month. So there's some nor'easters going to be coming up through there as well, and also Florida's not going to get missed out either. So let's go over that as well. So this is, like I said, you wake up Tuesday morning. Like I said, I don't know if spring break starting either next week or the week after. But if you're along the Gulf Coast and going to like Orange Beach or Gulf Shores, down to the Florida Panhandle, Pensacola, Panama City, stuff like that. It's going to be in the 40s when you wake up on Tuesday morning. I don't know if you want to be out in the ocean. I know the Gulf temperatures are very warm still, but especially off the coast here of Central Florida, I know they just broke 80 degrees just off the coast here. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of cold air. It's going to get entrenched, and frost and freezes are going to be likely, even into the eastern part of the United States. All right, so here's some of the anomalies. This is for basically nighttime lows, 15 to 20 below average, basically entrenched across the southeast. And I'll go as far as Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. Deep freeze, basically, with a hard freeze possible in parts of the Carolinas, all the way up through Virginia, through northern parts of Georgia even. Frost possible through central Alabama, through central Georgia, basically Carolinas here. Most of Carolina is going to be below freezing. North Carolina is going to be below freezing. Same with Virginia. Like I said, western half of South Carolina is getting into it as well. And 50s, mid 50s to low 60s for lows down here in Florida is cold for them. So they are not going to get missed out either. And look at this, just Mobile, Alabama, right on the coast, basically looking at about 40 to 43 degrees for low possible on Wednesday morning. So this is just a sign that things have come. So all these plants and vegetation that's came out, it's going to get damaged. And if we get a hard freeze, a lot of these plants are going to get badly damaged as with this killing basically freeze and frost that's coming to the southeast, central and southeast as we go into parts of next week. So this is just a general, basically map of average high temperatures for the month of March. Like I said, 50s. Like I said, this is not very detailed, but along the ridge tops, basically, of the Appalachians, is going to be a lot cooler, of course, and across the mountains of the west, it's going to be a lot cooler than what it's showing here. But this gives you a good idea of what the average temperatures are like for the month of March. All right. Basically, in summary here, severe weather coming this weekend possible with damaging large hail, golf balls of baseball size is possible with some straight line winds. There's a very slim possibility of some tornadoes, but very slim, but it's not zero. Okay, but major threats are hail and high winds. This is the outlook for Saturday, mainly across southeastern Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma, as we go through central Arkansas and southern Arkansas. Okay. Then here is Sunday's threat across southeastern parts of Arkansas, northeastern parts of Louisiana, including Monroe. And then as we get into Mississippi, Jackson, Wiggins, Macomb, Hattiesburg, down here towards Biloxi as well. Slight risk there. Main threats, very large hail and damaging winds. Okay. And basically, in summer 2, cold air is coming. We're talking 10, 20 below average at times. It will warm up at times as this cold air pushes out because we live in the south. This cold air will push out for a day before and then warm up because we get those southwesterlies and south winds that come up ahead of a front. So we'll warm up basically for a slight period before a next cold shot comes through. And it's looking, if you become a supporter, you'll see how cold it could possibly get as we head past, or if we get towards late next week into the weekend and beyond. It's looking a little bit even colder than what I showed you with possible lows across the southeastern parts of the United States and the South. So a lot of the vegetation that's already came out across the southeast and through the deep south here is gonna, like I said, I've been talking about this for a while in the supporter hub that's just setting the stage for a damaging, possibly killing frost and freeze coming into the area, and that's looking possible as we head into this next week. All right. So thank you so much for watching this evening. Like I said, stay alert on severe weather this next weekend. I'll have probably another video out tomorrow night renewing what the threats are. And just a reminder, we change time Saturday night. We move ahead an hour. We're going into daylight savings time, so the sun will come up later in the morning, but stay out another hour or so in the evening. So later evenings, but darker mornings across the area here. But can't really complain because if we lived in Alaska, it'd be dark all the time until it hit summer, where it was basically sunny 24 hours a day. So we'll take what we can get. And like I said, severe weather this weekend. I'll have more updates as we go forward. But cold air below normal cold is coming, possibly 10 to 20 below average, and maybe even more beyond the 7-day, which I just showed you. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support us, there's different ways, and I showed you that, or I told you about that earlier in the video here. Also, click that thumbs up button, like this video, and hit that subscribe button. It is free. And then hit all on notifications, and you'll be notified every time we post content on YouTube. Have a great evening, everyone, and have a good Friday tomorrow.